old boy Jason Derulo has really been through it. You know, he had a big career going on for quite a while, and all of a sudden it just derailed and was mostly off of some Me Too era allegations. But a lot of people wondered where he went. Well, he's telling us the reason why and the outcome of that nobody really reported.
And then it wasn't, you know? So I just didn't find my person yet.
There was a lawsuit not too long ago by an artist that was like hired to your label that was dismissed.
Twice.
What did you learn going through that?
You hear that? It was dismissed twice. How did we miss that? How's that not talked about more? That he was accused and it was dismissed in court twice. Crazy.
Hired to your label that was dismissed.
Twice.
What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come on.
There's truth in every joke. But it's a sad truth. Like, I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with, like ever again.
Why?
It's too risky. That case was dismissed twice in two different states. And there's hardly no mention of it online. When that case was brought up, it was on every single blog, every single front page. And I lost so many brand deals, relationships off of a story that was not even slightly believable. She said I sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual. All people read was the headline, right? And that's all it takes to lose everything. That's a crazy concept. I lost millions of dollars off of an arbitrary story that some woman told. Like a crazy story that some woman told. So, with that being said, how can I be comfortable being in a room with a woman that I work with and not feel like she can just say whatever she wants? It's like, it's not worth it to me.
Is he wrong? For someone in his position, especially in the music industry, if you're somebody that is trying to live above board and you're not trying to sacrifice goats, as she would say, just crazy. If he did nothing like that, that's insane. And that person that, well, obviously a court of law decided that, and a jury most likely decided that this person didn't have a case. I like to see the actual report and see how things worked out, because that's crazy if she did that. And is there a world where there should be some type of penalty for making false claims against a man in his place of work, right? Because I bet what she was thinking is she was going to get some part of an insurance policy, you know, because a lot of people have companies in the music industry and they carry these policies, I guess, in a case of something like that. So she probably wanted to clear the bank. This is another example of that get the bag at all costs culture taking over. Man.
So anytime that there's a woman present that I work with, there will be somebody else present. I need some sort of like witness or cameras or some shit.
When you're in that and losing millions of dollars in brand deals, how are you figuring out how to navigate that?
Man, it's really less about the money. Like, the money, man. Like, I have one name that I work so hard to stay clean and stay clean cut.
Yeah, because he was known for pure pop music. Like, he was known to be safe for all ages. Like, people could listen to his music. I guess certain songs, I guess, right? Not all the not all the B-sides that he did over the years. But, and to go from household name, popular, making money, to having to spend millions of dollars just to defend that name after someone has besmirched, that has defamed you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder now, since it's been dismissed twice in court, this case, I wonder if now he has an ability to sue the woman that's doing all this accusing. And she's, she's public, she's known. All of her information is out there. But I mean, obviously you see, I'm assuming they're in his home. It looks pretty well put together. It seems like he's doing okay. But if he didn't have those millions to give up, it would absolutely have wiped him out. It would have ended anything we know of Jason Derulo. Just off an allegation. And that's what was so foul about the Me Too movement, is that it started to welcome more of this behavior. There was like, sure, there was some people that had gone through some things genuinely, and we do not condone any of that was happening, because there were some dark figures we know in the music industry. But to have somebody like Jason Derulo have to go through this, and I also think of like Aziz Ansari, that never really came out as anything other than a consensual encounter. Like, people that careers were changed, and maybe just now they're getting them back. Like, there's a serious allegation.
And then like somebody can just say, like, you can just say anything. That's the world we live in. You can just say anything and people take it as gospel. Why was it that those same blogs, those same pages, why didn't they post a dismissal at least?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be fair? If you posted
because
the
that's
headline,
not going to get the clicks.
that's so bro. It's so terrible. So like, people don't talk about the hardships of men, but it's a really, really tough place to be in, especially like when you have something to lose. Like, it's a really, really tough place to be in.
Think about it. For the last, I don't know how long, 30 some years, Keanu Reeves has been taking pictures with his hands visible at all times. I told this to a friend of mine, and she was shocked. She had no idea. She's like, I never even thought about that. That Keanu Reeves doesn't want any person to come back to him that is taking a picture with him, a fan or whatever, or especially a woman. He doesn't want any contact with them, so they can never later say anything. And if I remember correctly, I think there was an incident that caused him to start doing that. Keanu's been famous since the 80s, right? But to this day, a man in his late 50s or early 60s is always got his hand in a position where it can be seen in the picture, so he cannot be accused of trying to feel anybody up or do anything while the picture's going on in that one interaction that they have, because he's never going to see them again. But for some reason, Jason Derulo could have never seen this woman again that he was working with, but now he's got a lifetime scar and an asterisk next to his name because he is accused of having assaulted and done some strange things with goats, doing rituals with goats. Like, are you crazy? It's wild, man.
We talked about my past relationships and them saying things about me that I haven't responded to. We talked about lawsuits that I haven't really been able to respond to. I really want to respond to the blogs, if you want to be honest. I want to tell them, like, what the is wrong with y'all? Like, after all of these years, like, that I've done, it's been places that I've done interviews with, and like, I've just been so kind and like generous with my time. And then they post that then you don't post the dismissal. It got dismissed twice. You didn't post the second one, you didn't post the first one. Damn. Like, none of.
He's understandably frustrated, man. I can see why. Nobody, you see, that's what they say, man. They say, watch these people when you're on the way up, because you got all these phony people around you. They're like, oh, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But let something bad happen to you and they start kicking your back in. And that's exactly what Jason Derulo is describing here, man. Man, these people should be ashamed of themselves. I wonder if this goes viral, will some of those places issue those statements about, oh, we were wrong about this. There's no retraction in this day and age. Ridiculous.
That is crazy. It's crazy.
That's interesting. Jason Derulo taught us something very valuable in this moment here. You know, you can have the level of success that you desired your whole career. You can get to that zenith, that top level, and still one allegation can take you down. One allegation can stop people from messing with you, people from saying anything. And as men, I'm glad he pointed out as men, because we hear about the issues that women have in the entertainment industry all the time. But we never really talk about what men have gone through and the abuses that happen, you know, the discrimination that happens. You know, a lot of people that you know, started off and like just faded into obscurity, and you never know what happened to them. You know, it's really important that we have people like this that have had a level of success to say these things, because, you know, if they listen to men like me online, if, you know, your opinion isn't as important as when Jason Derulo says it. But we see it and we know what's going on here. And I encourage you all to keep speaking out and speaking up when you have moments like this, to let people be aware of what's going on. Like this man said, he's not even going to work with women anymore in a private setting without a chaperone. That's the Mike Pence rule. I remember when Mike Pence said that, everybody thought he was insane for saying he'll never be in a room alone with a woman that isn't his wife, you know? And can you imagine a recording studio? That's all they talk about in the recording studio. Oh, yeah. So-and-so work together. Oh, they smash. So that was kind of a thing. And then you have somebody come in who's opportunistic, allegedly opportunistic, because if your case gets dismissed twice, I'm starting to think you might not have a case. But somehow she has all this money, you know, which makes me think there might be something else at play. But if you have something to protect, you have to start being careful. You have to start understanding like your surroundings. And everybody doesn't love you. And everybody doesn't think you're a genius. Or, you know, some people start getting high on their own supply and they think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. When there's somebody waiting around the corner to knock you down off of the mountain that you built. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media. Make sure you sign up for the Patreon. The link is in the description.